invited my best friend into our bed. My boyfriend couldn't stop choosing her over me. Hi Reddit, a longtime lurker, first-time poster on a throwaway account, and I never thought my dumb ass would be here writing something like this. But here we are. I, 22 female, might have just blown up my relationship in the most humiliating, self-inflicted way possible. I invited my best friend into bed with me and my boyfriend, 26 male, and now I feel like I might have basically handed him over to her on a silver platter. I know how it sounds. Trust me, I know. The amount of regret and embarrassment I feel is so much. It was supposed to be something fun, an idea to spice things up. Instead, all I did was push myself out of my own relationship. For the sake of this post, let's call my boyfriend Ezra. He's tall, like 6'3", handsome, well-built. He's always been one of those guys who doesn't even try but still attracts attention. My boyfriend and I had been dating for about a year and a half. It hasn't been perfect. No relationship ever really is, but what we had was good. When Ezra and I first got together, it was one of those relationships that just felt like it clicked. We were barely a month in when I decided it was time to introduce him to my best friend. For the sake of this post, let's call her Tiffany. Tiffany and I have been best friends for years. I can honestly say she's one of the people I trust most in this world. So yeah, when I introduced Ezra to Tiffany after about a month of dating, it felt natural. I wanted some of the two most important people in my life to get along, and they did. We all went out to dinner, and Tiffany seemed to really like him, not in a weird or sketchy way, but in that I'm happy my best friend found a good guy way. She teased me a little bit, cracked jokes, asked him questions, and the whole time I felt good. She gave me zero reason to think she was attracted to him or that she had any interest in my boyfriend beyond him just being my boyfriend. I can't help but feel stupid for being so comfortable about it. But at the time, there wasn't a single red flag in sight. Now, I won't lie, our sex life was good. I never once felt like anything was missing. But as couples do sometimes, we got curious. We started tossing ideas around about how to spice things up. The whole threesome thing wasn't serious, as at first it started half-jokingly. I cracked a joke one night about bringing another girl in, and instead of laughing it off, Ezra kind of smirked and said he wouldn't be opposed to it. That was all it took. The idea stuck in my head, and eventually it turned into actual planning. We both agreed if we were going to do it, it would make more sense for it to be 2 females and 1 male. Ezra's got a ridiculous amount of stamina, like the man can literally go for hours, so I wasn't worried about being left out or anything like that. At the time, it felt like this fun thing couples do when they're comfortable and trust each other. We also couldn't just invite anyone into your bed. It's not like picking a random person off the street. We actually sat down and thought about it. We threw around a couple of names of people we knew but scratched them off the list almost immediately, either because it would be too awkward, too complicated, or just flat out weird. At one point, we even floated the idea of hiring a sex worker, just to keep things detached and simple. But then we both agreed it would be easier, and honestly more comfortable, if it was someone we actually knew and trusted. And that, right there, is where I basically set the stage for my own downfall. Now, around this time, Tiffany had just gotten out of her year-long relationship. She was newly single, and we were doing what we always do after a breakup, sitting over dinner, talking about relationships, men, sex, the whole 9 yards. Somewhere in the middle of that conversation, I brought up the whole threesome thing Ezra and I had been talking about. It wasn't like a serious pitch. I mentioned it half like, oh, this is something we're considering just to spice things up. Looking back, I should have seen the damn alarm bells right there. But in the moment, nope, completely blind. The second I said the word threesome, Tiffany perked up like someone had just handed her an espresso shot. Her eyes lit up, she leaned in, and she started asking questions. Not in the normal, oh, that's interesting kind of way. No, she was basically vibrating with interest. She told me she had done threesomes before, that she was experienced, that she knew how to make it work without drama. She was dropping hints left and right that she wanted in. And here's where I was the biggest idiot. Because instead of taking a step back and thinking, maybe this is a bad idea, my brain went, wow, this is perfect. She's my best friend, I trust her, I'm comfortable with her. She literally just told me she's experienced in this exact thing, like what could possibly go wrong? I also had this completely delusional thought that if I was the one inviting her in, I'd be the one in control. That it would be my rules, my boundaries, my say. Spoiler alert, I was so not in control. Not even close. So a couple of days after that dinner conversation with Tiffany, my phone basically turned into a nonstop buzzing machine. She was messaging me constantly, and I mean constantly. Morning, night, middle of the day, random times when I was at work. It was all about the threesome. She wanted to know when we were doing it, what time, where, how. She was asking detailed questions like she was booking a damn flight or something. Honestly, it was weird, like really weird. But did I take a step back and think, hey, maybe my best friend being this eager to sleep with my boyfriend is a red flag? Of course not. Dumb me brushed it off and rationalized it. I figured she had just come out of a year-long relationship. She probably needed a rebound, and maybe this was just her way of coping. I kept telling myself she was just eager. Spoiler. She was eager, but not in the harmless way I convinced myself it was. At first, I tried avoiding her questions. I hadn't even talked to Ezra yet about whether he'd be comfortable with her being the third person. So I just let the text pile up, thinking it would blow over. Yeah, it didn't. Then one night, Ezra and I were just hanging out at his place, watching TV, when he casually dropped, "Hey, Tiffany's been messaging me about the threesome. Did you tell her already?" I froze, like what? She actually went and messaged him directly? I hadn't even mentioned her name to him yet, so that threw me off. But instead of being suspicious like a normal girlfriend, I just explained to him that, yes, Tiffany and I had dinner and that I might have let it slip. To my surprise, Ezra didn't seem upset or weirded out at all. He just kind of shrugged and said he was fine with Tiffany being the third person. That was it. No hesitation. No, are you sure? Just, yeah, that works. And me? I was actually relieved. Like, great, problem solved. Tiffany wants in, Ezra's cool with it, and now we can finally move forward and have our fun. So about a week after Ezra gave the green light for Tiffany to join, the three of us decided to go out to a bar. Nothing unusual, just drinks, hang out, the usual. We weren't blackout wasted or anything. It was more like that tipsy stage where everything feels funnier than it should, and you're a little too giggly. Since Ezra's place was the closest to the bar and he didn't have any roommates, we all headed back there afterwards to crash. Of course, the just one more drink thing happened, because apparently drunk us thought beer wasn't enough and decided we needed to open a bottle of wine too. That's when Tiffany, out of absolutely nowhere, started taking her clothes off. Like literally just stripped right there. I was surprised because we hadn't talked about that night being the night. No plan, no prep, nothing. But I was tipsy. I was in the mood. And honestly, I didn't want to look like the boring, uptight one. So I started undressing too. Ezra joined in, and I swear the look Tiffany gave when she saw him naked was like a kid opening presents on Christmas morning. Her eyes went wide, she bit her lip, and she literally said, "Damn." I tried to play it cool, smirking like, yeah, that's my man. Because, hey, I thought that was a good thing. We eased into it kissing, touching, the usual foreplay. I went down on Ezra while Tiffany kissed him, then she eventually slid down to join me. It started fun, honestly. Then Ezra lifted me up to eat me out, which was great, but then switched over to Tiffany. And from there, everything went sideways. At first, Ezra was having sex with me while I went down on Tiffany, but not even a minute in, she's whining, my turn, like a damn toddler demanding candy. I brushed it off, thinking maybe she was just a little too excited. But then Ezra switched to her, and suddenly it was like I disappeared from the bed. She was moaning like crazy, begging for more, while I sat there awkwardly waiting for my turn. I even went to sit on her face, thinking, okay, reciprocity, right? I had just spent time down there for her. But no, she pushed me away. Literally said, not now. Wait your turn. Excuse me, wait my turn in my own damn threesome? Meanwhile, Ezra didn't even pause to check in. He just went right along with her. 15 minutes go by, she's had 2 orgasms already, and I'm like, so, when's my turn? He finally comes back to me, lasts maybe 3 minutes before she pipes up again with the whole, my turn. And you know what he did? He actually went back to her. No hesitation, no hang on, nothing. Straight back to Tiffany, and they went at it for like half an hour while I just sat there. At one point, I literally left the room, went to the kitchen, and poured myself a glass of water because I was so pissed. When I came back, they were still going at it like I didn't even exist. I tried to joke like, hey, is anyone going to take care of me? But it was like talking to a wall. Finally, I'd had enough. We had agreed on a safe word before we even did this, like a built-in stop button in case anyone felt uncomfortable. So I said it. out loud, clear as day. So Ezra makes up some excuse about why he had to stop. Tiffany was whining, begging for more, and I was sitting there absolutely livid. Because what was supposed to be our fun, our shared experience, turned into me literally watching my boyfriend and my best friend hook up while I got scraps. That night was when the alarm bells really started ringing for me. The next morning, my phone is blowing up. Tiffany is messaging me nonstop, literally paragraphs about how that was incredible, we should totally do it again, and even, what about tonight? Like, girl, chill. I straight up told her it was a one-time thing. I was polite about it at first, but she just kept pushing. For the next week, it was the same routine, her hinting, nudging, sometimes outright begging for us to do it again, telling me how fun it was, how good Ezra was, and how we had such good chemistry. Meanwhile, I did talk to Ezra. I told him straight up that I ended it because Tiffany was making it all about herself, and to his credit, he said he noticed that too, that she was trying to make it just about them. But when I asked why the hell he just kept going to her and ignoring me, his excuse was, well, she was whining and begging. I didn't know what to do. Like what? You didn't know what to do? Maybe you stop. Maybe you check in with your actual girlfriend. The excuse just pissed me off even more because it made it sound like he had no agency, like he was some victim of her whining. Fast forward to yesterday. Tiffany again messages me asking, so when are we doing it again? As if I hadn't spent the past week saying it was a no. I finally snapped and just left her on delivered. Didn't bother replying. I was done repeating myself. I figured that was the end of it. That night I went to sleep at Ezra's place. Then around 1 a.m., I wake up to pee and see his phone lighting up on the nightstand. Curiosity got the better of me. I checked, and lo and behold, it's Tiffany. She's messaging him directly this time. And not just casual text, she literally wrote, "Want to come to my place tomorrow night? My name said it would be okay." I just sat there staring at the screen in disbelief. Like, first of all, bold of you to lie and use my name like that. Second, messaging my boyfriend behind my back. I didn't delete anything. I wanted to see what would happen. If Ezra would come to me, show me the messages, or just flat out refuse her. I decided I'd keep my cool, play it smart, and wait. But inside, I was raging. And honestly, now that I think about it, I should have seen this coming a mile away. Tiffany was way too eager from the jump. She was practically salivating the minute I brought up the idea, constantly pressing me, pushing me, hinting like some bitch in heat. But because she was my best friend, the girl who's been by my side through everything, I didn't even think betrayal was an option. I thought she was safe, trusted. Turns out, I basically hand-delivered my boyfriend to her on a silver platter. And yeah, I know I messed up too. I know I should have never invited her into my relationship. I should have seen the red flags. I should have shut it down the moment she started pressing, but I didn't. And now here I am, typing this long-ass post in the middle of my lunch break at work, furious and scared that I've ruined everything. If Ezra doesn't show me those texts on his own, if he even entertains the idea of going over to Tiffany's, then I'm done. I'll go to her house myself, rip the Band-Aid off, and call it over with. Better to know the truth now than drag myself through months of being played. I'm really hoping it doesn't come to that. I don't want to lose him. I don't want to lose my best friend either. But I think that's already gone. I guess I'm posting this because I need advice. Reddit can be brutal, I know, but I've seen the kind of clear, honest insight this place can give. I already know I messed up. I already know I was stupid. I already know this is 100% on me for inviting my best friend into my relationship. But what do I do now? How do I talk to my boyfriend about this without blowing it all up? How do I navigate this without losing my mind? Thanks if you made it this far. I also really just needed to rant. I'll update in the next couple of days with what happens, whether Ezra comes clean or whether I have to find out the hard way. Update. Hey Reddit. So yeah, I promised an update in the next couple of days, and even though this is dropping about a week later, I figured I'd still keep my word. Life has been a little chaotic, a little weird, but overall okay, I guess. Honestly, when I wrote that first post, I felt like I was losing my damn mind. I was spiraling, I felt stupid, I felt betrayed, I felt angry, and mostly I just felt so stupid, like embarrassingly stupid. If you haven't seen my first post and don't understand this update, you can check my profile. This is literally a throwaway, not my main. The only other post on it is the first one, so it should be easy to find. I didn't dare use my real account because I've got family who follows me on Reddit, and there was no way in hell I wanted them stumbling across this disaster of a situation. Anyway, that post blew up way more than I expected. I was honestly shocked. I figured it would get a couple of responses at best, because I literally made a brand new account just for this. But nope, y'all delivered. It was kind of jarring, to be honest. But at the same time, it was also one of the best things that could have happened because I got so many perspectives, advice, reality checks, all of it. And yes, trust me, I read every single damn comment. Or at least I tried to. Y'all did not hold back. A lot of you called me stupid, which is completely fair, because I was. Some of you were like, girl, what the hell were you thinking? Inviting your best friend into your bedroom? And I mean, you're not wrong. I've called myself stupid more times than I can count since this whole thing went down. And honestly, if some random stranger out there is reading this right now and thinking about inviting a friend, not even just a best friend, but any friend into your relationship, let me be the cautionary tale. Don't. Do not do it. It will not make things fun or spicy. It will not bring you closer. It will burn your relationship to the ground and salt the earth behind it. What I did was such a horrible, horrible idea. I thought if we were all adults, mature, open, it would be fine. It was not fine. It went south. So, yeah, in the short time since I made that first post, about a week, and some days ago, a lot of shit has gone down, like more than I was prepared for, honestly. I'm still processing, still sorting through it all, but I'll be fine. First things first, Tiffany. She is obviously no longer my best friend. That's done. There was no way in hell I was ever going to keep her in my life after the bullshit she pulled. There are just some lines you don't cross, and she sprinted across all of them with fireworks in both hands. She's a liar, she's manipulative, and she's honestly just a horrible person. Looking back now, I don't even know how I didn't see it earlier. She was never the friend I thought she was, and I've completely cut her out. Second, Ezra. Or I guess my boyfriend? Ex? On a break guy? We're kind of in that limbo right now. We didn't officially break up, but we agreed to take a break because everything was just too damn hectic and heavy. We both need space. I've actually been thinking about starting individual therapy because I need it. I should have shut this whole threesome idea down from the start. I should have noticed Tiffany's weird energy and obsessive texts. I should have been firm about saying no, but I wasn't. And part of that is because I've always had issues with setting boundaries and saying no. This whole disaster has just made it clear that I need to work on that in a serious way. Now, for the part I know you're all wondering about. No, Ezra did not go to Tiffany's place that night. And thank God, because that would have shattered me. Instead, we stayed in together, ordered food, and finally watched that movie we'd been saying we'd watch for weeks. For a moment, it actually felt normal again. But of course, Tiffany couldn't just leave shit alone. The next day, she started texting me again. I had been leaving her on read for days at that point, but she kept pushing. And when Ezra didn't show up at her place, she apparently got pissed, because then she started sending me messages like, "Do you have an issue with me? Are we ever going to do another threesome? Last time was so fun. Why are you acting weird?" The audacity. Just manipulative bullshit, trying to make me feel crazy. That's when I finally snapped. I texted her back and said straight up, "We are never doing a threesome again. I know she's been texting my boyfriend and lying about me. She's manipulative, and I don't ever want to hear from her again." And then I blocked her immediately. No explanations, no excuses, no, let's talk this out. Just done. A couple of days after I blocked Tiffany, Ezra and I had a huge argument. On one hand, I was so relieved and grateful that he hadn't gone to her place. But on the other hand, I was pissed that he hadn't told me she messaged him that way. He just sat on it. I found out only because I opened his phone that night. And yeah, he didn't cheat, but the lack of transparency really bugged me. So when we finally talked about it, all of that bottled up anger I'd been carrying since the threesome itself, the jealousy, the resentment, the humiliation of basically being sidelined, while Tiffany turned it into her and Ezra's private show, it all came rushing out. I blew up at him. He blew up back, saying the threesome was something we agreed on, that he hadn't actually gone to Tiffany's place, and that he didn't know what else I expected. And sure, yes, it was something we agreed on. But what annoyed me was that he saw Tiffany basically cutting me out in real time, and he still went along with it. And then, yeah, maybe he didn't go to her place, but he also didn't come to me and tell me what she was trying to do, which would have meant the world to me. Instead, I had to find out by snooping through his phone. That transparency would have changed a lot. So yeah, that's when we realized we needed to step back and take a break, because we're just carrying way too much anger and distrust right now. I don't really know how I'm feeling right now. Like, I'm in this weird limbo where I don't know if I'm leaning toward breaking up or trying to work things out. Some days I wake up and think, there's no way in hell this can ever work again, and other days I think maybe we can fix this if we both really try. It's confusing as fuck, honestly. One thing I am certain about, though, is that I'm getting into individual therapy. A bunch of you pointed this out in the comments of my first post, and you were right. I've realized I have a really hard time saying no to people, even when they're making me uncomfortable. I avoid confrontation, I don't shut people down when I should, and it always ends up blowing up in my face. This whole Tiffany mess just shoved that reality in my face, and I know I need to work on it. As for me and Ezra, like I said, I don't know. I'm hopeful because we both seem to want it to work, and before all of this, our relationship was actually good. Our sex life was great, we had fun together, we cared about each other. It really was good until the threesome idea came into play. That's where it all spiraled. First, the idea itself, and then my dumbass bringing Tiffany into it. That was the nail in the coffin. Right now, I'm trying to just focus on myself. That's why at the start of this update I said life has been a little chaotic, a little weird, but mostly okay. Weird because, well, it's weird. I'm on a break from my boyfriend. Tiffany, who was my best friend for years, is no longer in my life. And even though I absolutely hate her now and can't stand even hearing her name, it's still strange to cut off someone who used to mean so much to me. Like, no more bestie nights, no more stupid inside jokes, no more hanging out the way we used to. You can't just erase those years of history from your brain overnight, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about it sometimes. But spending more time alone hasn't been all bad. I've been doing my own thing, keeping busy with work, spending more time with my family. My siblings are honestly the best. It reminds me that I do still have people who care about me and who actually want what's best for me. And to wrap this up, thank you. Seriously, I appreciate every single comment from my first post, even the ones that called me dumb, and yes, there were plenty of those. I deserved it, but it also made me laugh a little reading how blunt some of you were.